Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. Today I'm gonna talk about something very specific, something likely close to me I guess, my version of Zangief that I want to see in Street Fighter 6. And also I'm gonna try to think about this character as maintaining the identity of Zangief. That's one thing. And the second thing is that I don't want to break this character. Like it would be easy to say, yeah, giving crouching medium kick DRC and he would be extremely strong. I want him to be balanced but maintain the personality of Zangief. Let's start with the buttons very quickly. I would reduce this to 5 frames. Standing light punch, standing light kick and hell stab. All of these buttons share the 7 frame window. I think that is no longer necessary for this character specifically. I have a weird relationship with this button. I think it's fantastic for just general poking, but pretty bad for pressure. I think this button can be moved to 6 frames without actually breaking anything for Zangief. Maintaining every other frame, by the way, the recovery frames, same with this one. This is gonna start sounding controversial for people that either don't play Zangief or maybe they hate Zangief, but I do feel Hell Stab being 6 frames would help a lot with this character. I'm gonna have to use counter hit to actually show this, but if you make this 6 frames, it would naturally combo from crouching light punch. This would mean... Now, why is this relevant? Distance and conversion from lights. You would be able to combo from lights like this, like 2 lights. Well, maybe not on this range, so that would be the weakness. You still would need to be close, but this would combo. And that would fix somewhat the light conversion issue. You could hit just 1 light maybe sometimes and go into Hell Stab. Nothing about the Hell Stab needs to change necessarily. Maybe reduce it a couple of frames. I think 21 frames of recovery might be too much. I would put it more in line with standing medium kick. It's 19 frames. Standing light kick is fine, by the way. However, the frames of standing light kick are a little whack, being -2. I know it's a cancelable light with good range, but I think being -2 is a little bit too much. I think it would be fine if it's -1 or even 0. I don't think that would change much about this button. On block, you'll see that this is actually minus. I don't mind that much about the -4 because you're space usually when you use it, so you're not gonna be punished, so I don't mind about that. But on hit, -2. And the big one of the lights, the big issue with this button specifically, is 1, how much it recovers, 2, the frames on hit and on block. Being this -3 doesn't go in line with the rest of the changes to the crouching light kicks, so I think this should go to -1. That's the first thing. And 0 on hit is just whack. This has to be plus on hit. +1, -1, and that would be fine. The recovery frames are also an issue. 12 frames is too much for a crouching light kick. It doesn't have to be close to 8 frames or 9 frames, like these 2 buttons, which are faster. And this one is 17 frames because it is so long. But I think making it 10 frames would be enough. Standing medium kick is mostly fine, crouching medium kick fine. However, crouching medium punch is the one that is currently being an issue for Zangief. You can increase the range a little bit, or you make it 7 frames. Since this is losing the 7 frame window, this doesn't have to be 8 frames anymore. And that's it. That's all I want for mediums. I think sweep is fine. I don't mind that much about sweep. Standing heavy kick, well, this is gonna be a little bit controversial. Bear with me. I think standing heavy kick should not get you this launcher. In my mind, it would be pretty cool if you just get like some kind of stagger. So you can go into headbutt, Hell Stab, Lariat maybe. However, crouching heavy punch should get it. Sometimes when you are whiff punishing with the standing heavy kick and you're over here, your options are extremely limited because this move doesn't move forwards like this one. You will need to change a few things about crouching heavy punch, of course. It has to be faster than 11 frames. So you would make it a more consistent button for grounded attacks and also anti-air, because we want to use it in both ways. In order for this to actually work as an anti-air, it has to be faster, around 8 frames, 9 frames maybe. So the actual hitbox of the anti-air is available between frames 11 or 12. That would make it a far better move, and also -20. I mean, that's crazy. This should be... With this pushback, maybe you can make it -8 and that'd be fine, but not -20. Man, what are you even doing here? As far as on hit, some people have suggested that this could go on hit into super low 1, and I agree. As for standing heavy punch, I like how the button is. I don't have anything to say about this button. Knee is fine how it is. However, they need to change back the hurtbox. They should pull back, or either they make the knee a little bit more disjointed than it is right now, or they pull back. I don't think that's gonna be possible, but they need to pull back the hurtbox a little bit. Either one of those things. Knee should travel a little bit more than this. That's the other thing. Wheel kick is fine. Charge up kick. I think this is pretty much insane. -41. You can make it a little bit safer. if you land a little bit lower. This is too much, because if you're jumping forwards with the attack, they can anti-air you very easily. There's nothing else you're gonna do in the air. You cannot cancel that, nothing. My solution for this is just reducing the minus frames. Instead of being minus 30 something, I think minus 10. You have to go out of your way to try to land this. And also the other thing I want is that for the normal hit to actually bounce. Bounce like the punish counter. The punish counter just give you more damage or something. Only one change. Minus frames. This is just insane. Minus 18. No one uses this move because how hard it is for you to actually get it. You can make it minus 16, as you can see. But it's always minus 16, minus 18. Minus 10 would be enough, and you would still completely lose your turn. You can even make it minus 12 if you want, but not minus 18, minus 16. This is just too much. Headbutt. The only thing I want now is for this to be back. They can reduce the pushback of headbutt, maybe. I think it's fine on block, minus 4 is fine. On hit, plus 8, fine. I don't think they need to make any changes to SPD. However, there's one move that I think needs to be extended in terms of the grab box, and that is, of course, Burst Dynamite. The OD has more range, but you still can whiff it in situations where you shouldn't. One common one, for example, if they're blocking and they try to, let's say, neutral jump, this doesn't work. For how risky it is for you to go for OD burst or regular burst, these things should be doable for you as a Zangief player. You're getting the read. Well, oh, I forgot one command normal, but I'm gonna tackle it after this. This is how you know for this one I'm not actually making any kind of script. The change that people have suggested, doing this with a certain button triggers that one, another button triggers that one, and finally this one. I think that's a good idea. However, that still complicates things. Like, how do you do the OD version of this one, the OD version of that one, and the OD version of this one? This is the first time I'm gonna say something like this, but I would like this move to be removed from the game. I don't think it's adding anything. You only have this one, the close one. I would give 1 frame of armor to the OD version of Siberian Express. With a standing medium kick and a standing light kick, you would trigger the Siberian Express with armor. And with standing medium kick and heavy kick, you trigger the OD Russian suplex. And with the heavy kick, Russian suplex. And that's it. Power Siberian Express has no place in this game, to be honest. The close Siberian Express is 28 frames. I would reduce this by a couple of frames, probably 25. And this one, 22, 21 frames. I think Russian suplex would be fine at 10 frames if the OK of this, instead of being here, it'd be, let's say, over here, or even closer, here, like 354. Then I would understand why that move is 10 frames. True nasty mix-up for Zangief, because it's 10 frames. The only way you're gonna eat this is by a DI, stun. If you're getting grabbed by this move, it means you messed up, and I like that. A controversial move. I've heard some people asking for OD Tundra. To be honest, I like the idea, but first we need to fix regular Tundra. This move cannot be 6 frames in this game. First of all, this move, 3 frames might be the sweet spot for this move. I would make it 2, honestly. And that would make some very interesting situations, because those characters with a kick DI would know that Zangief can counter this. So they might need to go for something else. And that would make a very interesting matchup. If the OD one were to exist in this game, it would have to be the same amount of frames, but the question is, what do you catch? People suggest catching mids and highs. Other people want every kick. They're not gonna animate Zangief again, so we need to forget about that. It's only gonna be a kick parry. This should catch lows, mids, and highs. However, the reward of the OD compared to the regular one should be different. Right now, if you catch a kick, you get this. A +5 at this range. The regular Tundra should leave you here with that +5. And the OD one should be like this. I didn't mention the command normal stomp. I've said this before, but I want this to be completely changed in terms of frames. First of all, between 7 and 8 frames for the first stomp. Increase the range of the second stomp. On block, this should be -1. The second one should be -3. And I don't mind about the third one. On hit, this should be, well, it is already +4, but I would make it +6, and it would combo naturally into Hellstab, if you remember, you're keeping track of the changes. The second one, +2, or +1. And the third one, I don't mind too much because it's cancelable. It's fine at -2. The reason why Lariat is such an inconsistent anti-air tool is because only the first spin, only this one, that is the only spin that has a good hitbox. And it has a really good anti-air hitbox. Because every time he spins, like this, dun, dun, all of those hitboxes are awful. So the way you have to fix Lariat is not only increasing the speed, well, decreasing the speed in this case. You need to make it faster for sure, this should be 12 frames. But you also have to go out of your way to extend, first of all, extend this hitbox, way more horizontally, you can get it in combos more often. That one, all of those need to be extended upwards. That's the issue with Lariat, guys. It's not necessarily, well, it is the speed, but it's more about the hitboxes and how awful they are. This one has to be way faster. I'm thinking 10 frames, maybe even 9 frames, and I'd be happy with this one. And the same change has to be applied to the later spins. Supers are easy, very easy here. Very fast, 7 frames. That's the change. 7 frames. This would make certain combos a link into super level 1 and not a cancel. From super level 2, health tap super level 1, that would make all of those changes better for you. You will be able to link it way faster. Of course, this as a juggle might need to juggle a little bit higher. Super level 2, of course, the elephant in the room. I think the sweet spot from what I've heard is 15 frames or even 14 frames. So I'm gonna say, yeah, either one of those two. Super level 3 is fine. However, there's one thing I do not like about super level 3, and that's the Oki. This is your Oki, plus 26. I think this is too harsh. I know you get a lot of damage, but this is too harsh for Zangief. For you to get super level 3, you either need to go for a reset or waste dry meter. So keeping those things in mind, I don't mind about the plus 26, but this distance is just nuts. Over here in plus 26, the place where you created that hole in the ground, boom, keep Zangief here. And that would be cool. Sometimes you land CA or super level 3 when you are low on health. So you get all of that damage, but you get none of the Oki. I don't feel anything of what I've said today is necessarily something that breaks Zangief. And I haven't even mentioned things that I should be changing, but I won't, like the damage from this. I'm not changing the headbutt scaling. If you give Zangief more tools, you can keep some of these nerfs. He's a very one-note character right now. You have to go for all the SPD, you have to keep the pressure going with headbutt. They are essentially destroying what I feel is Zangief. Zangief is a grappler. He has an SPD with long range, but he's also a very strong poker. He's supposed to be threatening with standing medium punches, standing medium kicks, crouching medium kicks. He's supposed to do that. In Street Fighter 4, I'm not going to mention 5 because Street Fighter 5 Zangief is, well, you guys already know. But in Street Fighter 4, he was an excellent poker. He could convert into green hand. It was his thing. His thing was conversion and having the SPD there as a mix-up tool here and there, but you were poking most of the time. I'm liking the approach of having more grabs for Zangief, like the back throw, spine buster, forward throw, but he's never in a position where he can be in the face fast because he doesn't have green hand in this game. So whatever you do with this character, you're always going to poke from a range. So that's the place where they need to improve Zangief. Instead of extending the horde box, what they need to do, let's say if they don't want to listen to anything I said today, what they need to do is increase almost every single button forwards. Make more disjointed buttons for Zangief. That's how he plays. He needs to walk, press buttons, walk, press buttons, walk, press buttons. And when he's in range, he should be able to threaten you with SPD, Spine Buster, Russian Suplex, Siberian Express, and so on and so on. These are just changes that I want for Zangief. I know none of this is gonna happen. I'm just in the neighborhood of make-believe right now. That's all I have for today. If you really like this video, please subscribe. Go to the Siberian Lab on Twitch. I stream Zangief and I've been playing Elena too. Take care of yourselves, hydrate, keep playing grapplers, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.